We think of it as the land of plenty, a nation with boundless confidence and optimism.
And lift off.
But something is happening in America.
When you've seen in the past just the natural disasters that have taken place, the world can change on a dime.
In the home of the brave, there's a sense of impending doom.
I feel something's coming.
And there are whole families and groups of people in the United States that are just totally freaked out.
Across this vast superpower, people are preparing for the end of civilization.
The level of fear and irrational fear in the U.S. is certainly as high as it's ever been, if not higher.
10% of that radiation is initial radiation, which happens the first minute of the blast.
And for those who trade on fear, business has never been better. I've reported from around the world on countries coping with adversity. In America, I've witnessed terrorist attacks, extreme weather, civil unrest. But I've never felt society here is on the brink of collapse. And yet it seems an increasing number of Americans do. I want to find out why and what they're doing to get ready. I'm on my way to a secret location in Kansas, the middle of America. It's where they hid their nuclear warheads during the Cold War, in bases deep underground. I've come to visit one in very different hands now.
Okay, we're going to burn some copies and we'll hand them back to you. Just stay put for just a second.
Sure.
Yep. Okay, have a good day.
Thank you, nice to meet you.
He'll hand you your IDs as you come through.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how you doing? I'm Larry.
I'm here to meet an apocalyptic entrepreneur. Larry Hall has made a name selling to people with a lot of money and a lot of fear. He's turned a missile base into a refuge for millionaires who think Armageddon's coming and want to see it through in style. So you've put in these big doors here?
These are all new. Yeah, these are new. These are 16,000 pounds each.
He's planned for everything.
Let's say that you're on your way here as an owner and there's a blockade down the road and you can't get here. We could send one of these out to retrieve you. It's a Pitbull VX, heavily armored, up to 50 caliber armored vehicle. We have two of them. Some interesting equipment down here.
It's a doomsday hideaway, straight out of a James Bond film. And Larry's going to show me round. From rural America to the suburbs, there are people afraid the world as we know it is on the brink of falling apart. They call themselves preppers because they're preparing for the end.
Don't they know it's the end of the world, 'cause you...
And you got to be loud because you want him to stop.
In his backyard in Utah, Braxton Southwick is prepping his 15-year-old daughter for the days after society's collapsed and looters have come marauding.
Well, we're training Riley, my daughter here, on how to present her weapon in case of an intruder coming in. We're going to use my son Colton here today as the intruder. Usually intruder seeing a weapon will stop. If he doesn't, she's going to draw on him and pull the trigger to stop him. She's going to try to get him to leave the area without using any force. And that's really what we want to train our kids to do.
And you've done this with all your kids, have you?
Yes, all of our kids, and Riley being our last one. Prepping is basically being ready and able to defend yourself, take care of yourself in case your government or the world goes into complete total chaos. All right, Colton, come on in.
Stop right there!
Okay, good. Hang on there, son. Good. You're showing authority. You're loud. You mean business. Your hands are out there. So even if he's deaf, he sees both hands. He knows something's going on. All right? Colton, keep coming.
Stop right there or I'll shoot.
Good, stop right there, son. Now see, you draw the weapon, okay? He knows you mean business. Your finger's off the trigger, that's good. Your safety's on. It's gonna come up. When it comes up, the safety comes off. Because you've already told him twice. Third time, it's done, right? Go ahead. All right, stop right there. He made it this far. Really, in the perfect scenario, I don't even want him this close to you.
Most American dads aren't training their 15-year-old daughters to shoot an intruder coming to the house. Why do you think it's necessary?
We live in a horrible world nowadays, you know, and being a prepper in an end of a world scenario, I'm gone, you know, something happened to me, I want my children to be able to protect themselves and the home.
I mean, does it worry you, Riley, to hear your dad saying that he might not be here if the end of the world comes or something terrible happens?
Yeah, that does scare me.
That worries you a bit?
Yeah, it does. But I know that my brothers and my older siblings will be there for me.
And you.
And I can protect myself.
That's right. That's why we do this.
There are some folks, and there are families, and there are people that are scared to death, that they believe that there is going to be a catastrophe.
For me, it was 9/11, when the airplanes went into the towers of New York. That was a turning point for me.
Because they shut phone service down in our area for a long while. We weren't able to communicate with each other. And I remember at home that night just saying to him, like, if we can't communicate, I need a plan. We need to have a plan in place where how we can meet up and how can we get back together. And he wrote it out, and yeah, we just taped it on the door of our cabinet so that I could open it quickly and read what I needed to do.
So, normal garage from the outside. Most of the
In the 13 years since 9/11, prepper Jay Blevins has amassed a private armory.
But there are a few things that probably stand out to you as you walk in, and yeah, I do have a couple of knives. This is not normally a self-defense weapon. This is mostly for hunting. It's called an expandable baton. Basically works like that. It gives you an extension, should Armageddon or whatever come to our doorstep. I want to feel that I can take care of my family, my friends, and anybody who may need help. Again, if you use this against somebody, the likelihood of causing severe injury or possibly death is probably high. So this is good for home defense. If you flip it over, it's actually got a shell carrier on the side there. I mean, I'm only going to use it if my life is in danger and I feel like I need to, so. They interviewed us for this one as well.
Jay's a celebrity in the world of preppers. He writes manuals on surviving. He speaks at survival expos on the need to get ready.
We organize these types of events as well, and I hear constantly people saying, I can't put my finger on it, but something's just not right.
Fear is big business in the US. The doom boom has spawned an industry worth millions.
Hello, fellow Thrivers, as we've been out visiting you in your neighborhoods, trying to thrive a life.
And being America, a lot of that money is spent on eating.
This beef gravy is so simple.
Forget survivalists foraging in the woods for nuts and berries. Preppers have their own cuisine and cookery shows.
Freeze-dried lovers, we have mashed potatoes.
In a food plant in Utah, Chef Todd demonstrates the wonders of dried food. Ideal for surviving the apocalypse because it lasts for years.
Chef Todd.
Awesome. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Once it comes through a can labeler, it's turned.
Thrive Life's chief executive, Jason Budge, shows me behind the scenes. Just as Ebola fear is reaching fever pitch in America.
Anytime there are certain situations in the economy, any scares of disaster or disease, Ebola, for example, demand spikes for our products. So at the moment with the Ebola scare, you're selling more. We're selling a little bit more right now. Yeah, the demand's going up, and yeah, business is good. We don't like to celebrate those moments, but yeah, business is increasing right now.
Jason isn't just making money out of preppers, he's one himself.
We just felt that if we were prepared, we could always take care of the needs of our family. My wife and I have 5 kids. We always want to be in a situation where they're safe and they're prepared.
So other preppers who you are selling to who are afraid of a terrorist attack or a weather disaster or a solar flare, do you think they're all crazy, or do you think you can relate to what they're worried about? Can you?
I think they're wise.
The water temperature is maintained at about 84 degrees.
But no one sells the doom boom quite like Larry Hall. Back in Kansas, inside his underground survival complex, he's getting into his stride.
So we've made it high end. So and believe me, the owners came in here. We've had 2 owners that came here and cried when they saw it. They literally cried. It was so far beyond their expectations. They were just joyed. And work our way up. So we'll start at 15 stories underground and we'll come back up.
So going into the shaft, that's the side.
Right, exactly.
200 feet deep, protected by walls of reinforced concrete 9 feet thick, there are 12 floors of underground apartments and luxury facilities. Each survival condominium yours for just $3 million.
This is our hydroponics and aquaculture area. These are for the crops. Carrots are different and lettuce or kale are different. 3 different species of tilapia.
So it's an underground fish farm and normal farm.
Exactly. Here we've got the classroom of the future. Each one of these has an Apple computer at them. The teacher's post is over here. 1 month you'll be the teacher, 1 month I'll be the teacher. We've gone with the approach of let's make this a fun place to be regardless of why you're here.
So this is a survival condo?
This is one of the condos, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath unit. This is the dining area. A curved wall is the shape of the inside of the missile silo. There's a jacuzzi tub here. The toilets are interesting. You can use them in a bidet mode. Everything from the water temperature to the spray patterns. Plenty of room for all the stuff and very normal.
And here we have the food storage room.
This is my gun safe.
And we have a lot of stuff in here.
This is my tactical shotgun.
They call them cookies, and it's an emergency food ration, and we have these in our 72-hour kit as well.
This is my deer hunting rifle.
Braxton Southwick and his wife Cara have a basement to see them through the apocalypse.
And then we rotate through our bags. You'll notice that they're all marked with a date.
A lot of sugar there.
A lot of sugar. People like sugar.
1,200 rounds of 5.56.
And a lot of socks as well.
I think he's afraid of running out of socks.
And duct tape, very important, of course.
Where they say you can fix everything, fix anything and everything with duct tape. So
they call themselves preppers, like more and more Americans determined to be prepared for the end of the world.
America has a bunch of spoiled people in it. And when you take that away from them, they're going to throw a fit. And they're going to come after the people who were prepared, like myself and my friends and other preppers. So every prepper has a way to protect themselves, every one of them, because they know that's exactly what's going to happen.
We think we could go 6 months to a year and not have to buy anything.
With what's in here?
With what's in here.
And what if people know that you've got all the food and they're going to come after you?
Well, then that's why we've trained with our weapons.
The whole country will turn into a big schoolyard again with bullies. And those bullies are going to be taking every resource they can. It's the reality of our world.
And you honestly think that that's going to happen in your lifetime?
I pray to God it doesn't, but I think it is.
Because you're kind of turning your family into an army, a small army in a sense, aren't you?
I am, and I'm trying to keep that as normal as possible.
Ebola, terrorism, natural disasters. Most families are unprepared.
Fox News alert breaking this afternoon. Ebola kills inside the United States.
Living in America, you'd be forgiven for thinking the end is almost upon us.
Officials in North Texas say that there is a real possibility of more Ebola cases in Dallas County.
Even if plenty of people will tell you we've never been safer. So with the apocalypse apparently fast approaching, I've come to the woods for a course on the basics of prepping from survivalist Dave Carlson.
You want to hold it at an angle like this and and just kind of, scrape it on there.
Okay. There you go. You're taught how to make fire with flint and steel.
Oh yeah, there's smoke.
And just a shoelace and bits of wood. It's a long, painstaking process.
What we've got now is that ember there.
There you go.
All right. Well, wasn't easy.
Got there in the end. More and more Americans are doing what I'm doing, learning how to survive in the wild. One of the first things they learn is finding water.
Somewhere along the line, people have found water back in here, so that gives you an indication that this would be a good place to look.
However unappealing. And building somewhere to shelter.
This is the size that someone would want if they were going to be here for an extended period of time.
After all that, I asked Dave if he shares his clients' apocalyptic fears.
If you had a large-scale disaster, particularly if it was a terrorist event, I can see very bad things happening. Because people do crazy stuff when they're scared. They do crazy stuff when they're hungry.
Like every month, a network of prepper families is meeting in Jay and Holly Blevins' suburban home in Virginia.
Hello, puppy. Hello, puppy.
Our network is pretty much just a fancy name for our friends who we love, that and family that in an emergency we would kind of pull together. When we get together like this, we just typically do some sort of training. So today we have Tim McWelch with us, and he's going to show us how to do some primitive fire starting skills. He's going to show us how we can start a fire.
And if you spin the drill hard enough and fast enough, it actually creates a little ember. So that little spark is over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
We prepare for anything that could happen, anything from bad weather to a dirty bomb or terrorist attack, anything like that.
I mean, we have places out in the wilderness that we can go to. We have strongholds that we can go to. So if I'm in the city working down in D.C. or something and something happens and the kids and the wife are out here, they can rally together with the people that are here, until I can get out here. And that's pretty much the way the whole group operates.
All right, now you try.
Wow.
There seems to be something uniquely American about prepping. Something to do with the way only Americans have always thought about life and its problems.
Americans are fairly unique as world citizens in that we tend to believe that we control our own destiny as individuals to a much greater extent than we really do. This has serious ramifications. On the plus side, we achieve a lot as individuals. On the other hand, where there are real dangers, to take an individualistic approach is usually exactly the wrong thing to do. So the kinds of things that the preppers, for instance, are preparing to protect themselves from are much better handled at a community-wide basis than they are within your own home.
I'm going to check in with the range master here. We could be out helping other people and she'd be home alone.
The more time I spend with preppers, the more I wonder what it's doing to their families.
This is your adversary, okay?
I joined Braxton and his family on the shooting range, putting the training into practice with live ammunition.
I'm coming after her. She come.
What did Riley make of being trained to shoot post-apocalyptic looters? So how did that feel, Riley?
Felt good. It was kind of scary, but it was good.
What way was it scary?
Because I was just thinking, what if it was a real person and I really had to do that?
So it kind of felt real?
Yeah.
What does that make you think?
It makes me hope that I'm not home alone if something ever happens, but it makes me glad that I have the training and I could take care of myself.
Whether or not it's good for the children, the Southwicks do seem genuinely afraid of what could be coming. But what about Larry selling his survival condos for millions? Is he just doing this for the money?
Because there are people, I suppose, who look at this and think, well, the whole prepping industry has become an industry, and you presumably have made a fair amount of money out of this. And in a sense, what people like you are doing is peddling fear and profiting from it. What do you say to people like that?
Well, again, I don't think it's fear. I think it's awareness. I think that fear has a negative connotation. I don't think I'm peddling fear. I think I'm peddling preparedness. And there's a big difference.
Larry's sales pitch is you can live through Armageddon and stay normal.
So you could while away the apocalypse watching films here?
Well, you will have a certain amount of downtime where you want to not be bored. And obviously everyone spends a lot of time, probably too much time watching TV, but we've loaded thousands of movies in here. You know, this is one more thing that you can do to add some normalcy to your time off grid. This is the armory. We can't go in there and film, but...
You won't let us film in there?
No.
But I was beginning to wonder what it would be like stuck deep underground with Larry and his millionaire clients.
You come in here, this is the holding cell, the jail, if you will. It's got the standard county lockup where you've got the toilet and the sink and just like they do in the county facility.
So who's this going to be for?
Anyone having a bad day.
These are people who've paid $3 million for their condos, though, aren't they? Prepared to lock them up?
Well, and just like in society, you could pay $50 million for your house, and it doesn't give you the right to go punch your neighbor in the nose, does it? We can bring them in here.
If doomsday comes, this will be the view, and this place could be in demand from hungry, desperate people.
So it's called Sniper's Post down there, is that?
Yes.
Is that for real? You've got a sniper who could go in that post?
We do.
So it's like Fort Knox. What are you expecting to happen here?
Well, if there's a bad event, like a dirty bomb, and people are being told to flee cities and things, we could find ourselves under martial law. We can change the displays to show us more information. We have something of interest in any particular camera like this one. This cow's pretty interesting. He could be dressed up, a person dressed up as a cow. We might want to zoom in on him so we could change this whole display to be this one display. And
so far they've only seen cows, not horsemen of the apocalypse. But when the end does come, Larry and the hordes of American preppers like him reckon they'll be ready.